Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to another episode of Brewing It Live with me, Lotus, and my amazing co-host, Han.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Good to see you again.
Yeah, though today is a special Brewing It Live because, as you can see there is no commander. And
It's
this is...
five colors.
it's 5-color commander. But what I do have is a D20. So in spirit of the D&D set that has been released, Han has a list of commanders that I didn't really look at. I told him I did, but I didn't.
Sounds about right.
And here's a D20. So let's roll the dice and see who we're brewing today. 5.
5. Trelasarra, Moon Dancer.
Ooh,
Selesnya time.
what? Moon Dancer?
Yep. This should be a good one, actually.
Okay,
2 CMC Commander.
let's have a look at this one then. Green and a white for an Elf Cleric 2/2. When you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on the Moon Dancer and scry one. Ooh. I'm glad I'm glad we've got that, actually. That's pretty good. You know what, Han?
Yeah.
Cross that off the list and keep the list for another time.
Yep. Already did it.
Because this is quite entertaining.
Way ahead of you.
So we have now got it set up with the lands and the commander. So from what I can gather, we want to gain life, put counters on, and we have card advantage by scrying.
Yep. Seems like a good time, actually.
Yeah.
So...
My head's already full of ideas now.
yeah. Take it away. What?
I'm going to go straight in for Ajani's Primate.
Gotcha.
My spelling is atrocious as always, but we get through. So, Ajani's Primate is 1 and a white for a Cat Soldier 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Ajani's Primate. That will synchronize with our commander very nicely.
Yep. For sure. Old border, rather, right?
Hey, Jankmaster, welcome to the stream.
How you doing, Jake Master?
The Soul Sister.
All right. Yeah, both sisters.
Yeah, my mind has gone
All
blank.
awarded.
That's the one. All I can think is the Go Sister Souls in my head. I am on a really weird moment. So, single white for a human cleric 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, gain 1 life. And the other one was...
Soul Warden's the green one, right?
No, that's the white one.
Soul's Attendant. Soul's Attendant is 1. I know that.
Essence Warden is the green one.
There we go.
Right, so Soul's Attendant is 1 white, human cleric 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. And then Essence Warden
Is the other green one that we're gonna love. Yep.
is what I run in my Squirrel combo deck. Single green.
Yeah.
Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, gain a life.
Yep.
Yes, doing great, thanks, Jankmaster. We literally rolled a d20 if you didn't see the beginning of the screen, and this was the random commander that we picked for today.
Yeah, we got 19 other ones to do too.
Yeah.
Actually, we could just replace the same roll with another one, I'm sure.
I was going to say, we can add a new commander on.
Yep. First thing that I think of is Johnny's Welcome as an enchantment. So 1 white for an enchantment. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So since Trelasarra loves to be doing gaining life, put a +1/+1 counter, get really big things. Essence Warden, Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, and even Johnny's Welcome should be all welcome inclusions in this.
What's the Ajani that makes Ajani's primates?
Ooh.
Is it in...
Good question.
Oh, I can't remember which Ajani it is. Let me just
Let's
type in
look.
Ajani and then
I
see
think
which...
it's Color of the Pride. Nope. Definitely not. I'm looking through Mentor of Heroes.
It's one of the recent ones, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ajani Strength of the Pride? That's the one. 2 white for a 5 loyalty Ajani. +1, gain life equal to the number of creatures you control, plus the number of planeswalkers you control. -2, create a 2/2 white cat soldier creature token named Ajani's primate. And 0, if you have 15 life or more than your starting life, exile Ajani and each artifact and creature your opponents control.
Yeah. Seems good. Ooh, that's a good suggestion in chat. Jake Master Stream says Courser of Crufix. Spicy. I like it.
Ooh.
1 green for an enchantment creature centaur. 2/4. Play with the top card of your library revealed. That's the only part that me personally, I'm not a huge crazy fan of. However, you may play lands from the top of your library. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life.
Seems
Sounds
good.
like a good time.
Yeah.
Ironically, yeah. So this is an interesting one with Trelasarra. So gain life, and basically anytime you gain life, you proliferate in a way.
On herself, and then scry one.
Yep. Yeah, and it
Um,
comes down on turn 2. Woof.
Sithis was another good suggestion, actually.
So this. Yep.
1 green, 1
Harvest Can.
white for a 1/2 nymph. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, gain a life, draw a card.
Yeah. Seems pretty good.
So, if we're going to put Sithis in, we're going to need a few more enchantments. What was that enchantment that when you gain life, put that many +1 counters on that creature? It was like Hydra's Growth, but it was white. And I can't remember it.
We did this recently too, huh?
We did, but there's so many cards I keep forgetting.
I'll take a look. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but
But I'm going to have a look at Jankmaster's Erastra of the Endless Web.
oh, that is a good one.
When,
Arasta
yeah,
makes some spiders.
whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach, and it's 2 double green for a 3/5 with reach itself. And it's also an enchantment which will trigger Sithis.
It is indeed.
Plus, those creatures coming in will also trigger our wardens, which will trigger our commander.
For sure.
Hmm.
We are in white. I think Esper Sentinel is the boogeyman that needs to just be put in right now.
Yeah, the Esper Sentinel is such a good card.
It's ridiculous.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, it's a single white for a 1/1. However, whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is the Esper Sentinel's power.
Yep.
Oh, oh.
Ooh,
Heliod.
lifelink.
Is it the Sun Crowned? The new one?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 and
The
a
new one is
white.
uncrowned.
So he's a god, 5/5, indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, he isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. And then you can give lifelink for 1 and a white to another creature.
Yeah, that's going to do some work. Another target creature gains lifelink at any point, and then you're going to put +1/+1 counters on top of that. I mean, in theory, Trelasarra can get really big, and we're just going to get a ton of life with lifelink off of that.
Yep.
Seems spicy. Jake Master Stream says, for the maybe board, Orin Frostfang? Attacking creatures. So Oran Frostfang, we have 3 green for a 2/6 snow creature snake. Attacking creatures you control have death touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yup.
Yeah, just giving the extra death touch is enough to cause people to block slightly differently.
Yeah. And oof. Well, I mean, Drink Master Stream says, you know the girl has has to be there, Elspeth.
Oh,
Which Elspeth are we talking about? Also, while we're waiting on that Elspeth,
is
I
it
mean,
Knights Errant?
Tus Tusky? That
Oh,
same effect?
Tusky is just awesome. Can you imagine just
Sun's
bumping
Champion.
Tusky with all of these tokens?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so target creature from Heliod and things like that. Oh boy, yes.
Yeah, indestructible, massive little squirrel.
Yep. But I mean, even on top of that, Elspeth Sun's Champion is the one that Jake Master Stream was talking about. We've got 4/2 white for Elspeth Sun's Champion, 4 loyalty, and the +1 is the only thing we care about. Put 3/1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. Let's go wide.
Yeah, this is going to be mad.
Just to finish it off, -3 is destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater, which in this kind of deck we're probably not going to want to do. And -7, if we ever get there, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying. So yeah, I mean, if you ever get there with the alt, for sure. However, the likelihood of that happening, different story, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm just trying to think. We need some card draw. I know we have Tusky and we have Uran.
Mhm.
However, we're gaining a lot of life.
Yep.
So I can't remember what the enchantment is, but there's that well as well. Um, Well of Lost Dreams.
Well of Lost Streams.
4 mana artifact. Whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained. Draw X cards.
Yeah, seems good. Especially if we got lifelink going on with huge swinger. Yep. Jank Master Stream, I think it was off of the Heliod. So yeah, you could put in a walking ballista. We could definitely do that.
I mean,
Combo off.
the game has to end at some point. Why not end it with someone groaning at us?
Yeah. I mean, part 1, part 2, people will see it coming, but yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah.
So also, I mean, ironically, speaking of like proliferating, we could technically do some of that, right?
Yeah.
With the things that we've got going on, I'm thinking like Evolution Sage is the more obvious one nowadays, I think. So Evolution Sage, 2 and a green. Yep, Jank Master's got it. 2 and a green for a 3/2 Elf Druid. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also have Huatley's Raptor is the other one that I really like from War of the Spark. Huatley's Raptor is 2 mana value, green and a white for a 2/3 Vigilant Dinosaur. I love my dinosaurs. When Huatley's Raptor enters the battlefield, proliferate.
Yeah. So we're
So
gonna
ETB
be
proliferate.
going wide, and we're
Yep.
using a lot of counters. So I think we should go on a crusade.
Ooh, okay.
So Cartha's Crusade, 3 white. For an enchantment, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, doesn't matter if it's a token, put a +1 counter on each creature you control.
I mean, if we're doing that, let's talk about, well, let's go with Jake Vester's suggestion. Jian Yanggu.
Yeah, that's the
Wild
Ying.
Crafter.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jing
Uh,
Yangu.
yep. 2 and a
He,
green for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter has tap, add 1 mana of any color, and you can minus it for put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. Yep. Certainly works. So the one I was thinking of, Felidar Retreat might be a thing.
oh, I like Felidar Retreat.
So Felidar Retreat, 3 and a white, I believe, for an enchantment. It has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Create a 2/2 cat piece creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn.
What would be
So
really
yeah,
funny is we have Felidar Retreat down and Carthus Crusade, so you just make the cat, and then you get the second ability strapped on.
yeah.
But
And if
there's
we're going in on this, I feel like I'd be remiss to not include an Archangel of Thune into the conversation
uh
because that's dirty, but it's a finisher, I think, as well. 3 white for a 3/4 angel with flying and lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's a lot of triggers that you're gonna have to remember.
yeah. How bad are we wanting to go?
Oh,
Because
this could go dirty real fast.
I have
Why?
I have two suggestions.
Sure.
So the first one is not going to be as bad as the second one.
Okay, well, I just threw out Archangel of Thune, so I think you're safe.
So the first one is Vigor.
Okay.
So Vigor is 3 green, green, green for an elemental incarnation 6/6 trample. If damage would be dealt to another creature we control, prevent that damage and put a +1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. And then it shuffles back in. So that was the first one, which I thought was really good to protect our board if someone is wider than us or is taller than us and wants to try and get through for damage.
Sure.
But the other one is Vorinclex,
You are dirty.
the monstrous raider.
The recent one.
Yes.
So
All
we're gonna throw in the Phyrexia one. Nobody will know what the hell's going on. Got it.
exactly. So 4 green green for a 6/6 trample haste Phyrexian Praetor. If one or more counters on a permanent or player would be put on there, you put twice as many on. But if an opponent would put more counters on the permanent, they put half that many of those counters rounded down. So we get
Okay.
double counters, they get half counters.
Okay. Yeah. If so, the thing to remember about this card is if you would put one or more counters. So if an opponent puts it on, the source is what matters with this card.
Yeah. So if someone puts a +1 counter on their creature, it rounds down to 0.
That's gross. I
It is.
love it.
And welcome to the stream, Arcadian Merchant, and Retreat to
Yep.
Kazandu. Ooh.
Yep. Retreat to Kazandu. So we have 2 and a green for an enchantment, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature, or gain 2 life. We like both these things.
They
+1/+1
both
counters and life. Yes, please.
yeah,
Absolutely.
they both do what we want to do.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna quickly put in Barrier Breach.
Because we're in green. Yep.
Yeah, we're in green,
Um,
you know it. I
that's
love
fair.
it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So my thought went to. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. My thought went to potentially just putting in like a Bishop of Wings effect as well.
Oh,
But I don't know if we have enough angels for that. If we
mm,
go angels, because Archangel, then maybe. But
I'll tell you what.
let's
We'll maybe
maybe
board
board
that.
that for sure.
If we were
Yeah.
to get Divine Visitation, then that would be beneficial.
Yeah, let's see how we go with this actually. Yeah, so Jake Master said don't forget Fertilid. And also there's a Forgotten Ancient in the queue as well. I love Forgotten Ancient. Fertilid seems good too though.
Okay, Fertilid 2 and a green elemental 0/0 enters with 2 +1/+1 counters. 1 and a green, remove a +1/+1 counter from Thurtlid. Target player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffles. So there's some land mana ramp for us. And Forgotten Ancient.
Yeah, Forgotten Ancient. 3 and a green for a 0/3 elemental. It's harmless. Whenever a player casts a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Forgotten Ancient. At the beginning of your upkeep, move any number of +1/+1 counters from Forgotten Ancient onto other creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, other creatures. You can just redistribute all of them. That's gonna be great.
I've just realized there's a few cards that are blatantly obvious now I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah?
That we've not even considered.
I have some in the queue in my mind, but which one are you thinking of?
So the first one is the Ozolith.
Yep.
If
Ozolith seems good.
If we're putting that many +1 counters on all of our stuff, we want to try and store up our counters any way we can. So for a single mana, we get a legendary artifact. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter on it, put those counters on the Ozolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all counters from the Ozolith to target creature.
Yep. So good.
The other one that I was thinking of was Hardened Scales.
Gross.
So Hardened Scales is a single green enchantment. If one or more +1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1 are put on it instead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing.
Slippery Bogbonder. Hello, Ashen.
Hey Ashen. Yeah, Slippery Bogbonder has been one of my favorite cards for a while.
It took me
if we have this many +1/+1 counters.
It took me 3
Definitely.
months to get one because they were
Yeah, and I was
sold
telling her
out
the
everywhere.
entire time, you need to get one. It's so good. I bought 10 at one point, I think.
Gee, no wonder I couldn't get hold of any.
You're all the way over across the ocean. I think it's different markets.
I'm sure you.
Mercadia Merchant also said Rishka might be a nice ramp. Rishkar? Are we talking the Renegade or expertise as far as the draw? Because I think Pima Renegade is probably the one. Rishkar, Pima Renegade. So 2 and a green for a 2/2 Elf Druid. When it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Okay. Each creature you control with a counter on it has tap and add green. Yeah.
That'll do it.
That will do it indeed.
Yeah. Now I won't play against this deck. Why? What card made you not do that?
I mean, it's also immediately followed up by Doubling Season.
Person after my own heart. Though, if we're going Doubling Season, we're going to have to go to the special little dino one.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because that's just too cute.
You know what's also really good, though?
What's
the
that?
suggestion from Mercadia Merchant. I like it a lot. Conclave Mentor. Not one that gets seen very often, but yeah. Green, white for a 2/2 Centaur Cleric. If one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many +1 counters are put on that creature instead. When Conclave Mentor dies, you gain life equal to its power.
I used to play this in Standard and I forgot about this card. However, this one has just reminded me of 2 cards. So if you don't mind me indulging in 2 cards.
Go for it.
Colonian Hydra.
Ooh, okay.
3 green for a 0/0 trample. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in with 4 +1/+1 counters. Whenever it attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control.
Right.
I forget it's each creature. And
why would you forget that's each creature? That's
because
the reason it's so ridiculous.
Because it's dumb.
It is dumb indeed. I think that is the proper word for it.
And the second one is Oran Reef Ooze. 2 and a green for an ooze, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever it attacks, put a +1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1 counter on it.
Yeah.
That was my
Man.
standard deck. That ooze and the mentor, and it was gross.
Yeah. Chat is all kinds of your kind of people today, Lotus. If you haven't been able to tell. First of all, I'll take Ashen's. Ashen says life gift as a Kamigawa suggestion. Can't not
Hey.
have one, right?
So life gift. 2 and a green, enchantment. Whenever a land comes into play, gain a life.
Goodness. Yep.
I bought this for 50p. I mean, look, you can see the difference between the American and the European market. €4 or $20, which is about 16 euros.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm not personally so sure I want to do Jake Master Stream's next suggestion. Aura shards seems a little mean, but I
No.
mean it makes sense.
How?
Let's see how many creatures we have, because that's gonna get a lot of hate our way on top of what we're already doing, I think.
I
It's
mean,
not a bad suggestion. I won't say it's a bad suggestion. I think it's just, oh, that thing's getting removed.
it's destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Every time you play a creature.
I'm gonna put it in the maybe board.
We'll revisit it. Let's see if it deserves a slot. I would say might be too mean for my own tastes. However, it's not a bad card.
It's definitely in the
Now,
maybe board.
you can take the other ones because they're all kinds of your style of thing, Lotus, I think.
Okay, so we have Path of Discovery as the next one, which was from Macadian Merchant. So that's 3 and a green for another enchantment. When it enters the battlefield under your control, it explores. So to explore, you reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. Then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. So it's basically surveil or put a land in hand. But it's pretty good. Also, don't mind me, but what about the Great Henge?
What about a nice Great Henge?
Great
Yeah.
Henge is a wonderful card, and it's one of those Eldraine cards that shouldn't really be reprinted because Eldraine was stupid.
Shouldn't be printed, period.
Green didn't need this, but we're glad it did.
Yeah.
So it's a 9 mana artifact that only costs 2. So it's 7 green. This spell costs X less, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Tap, add double green, and gain 2 life. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on it and draw a card. This does everything we want for our deck.
Yep. I think that's probably one of the grosser ones for sure. We have a suggestion in chat of Null Mage Shepherd, 3/1, 3 and 1 green for a 2/4 Elf Shaman. Tap 4 untapped creatures you control. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Sure,
Yeah,
I think that's a maybe for me. Tapping 4 creatures seems a lot to do that effect, personally.
depends if we got a Seedborn Muse in here or not.
Yeah, maybe. I
But
think
yeah,
that's a maybe for me, but let's throw it in for now. We can revisit it. One that I immediately thought of because of how recent, how this set works. First of all, Trelasarra is a cleric. I think we just need to throw in a cleric class right now because it's just going to be insane in this deck. 1 white for cleric class. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. So 2 life each time instead. And when we do get the option to level it up to level 2, it just becomes bonkers. 3 and a white, so 4 mana at any point. Whenever you gain life, put up 1/1 counter on target creature you control.
Yep.
Yeah. Level 3, 4 and a white. When this class becomes level 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to its toughness. So, yeah, anytime you want, you can just go ahead and activate that and bring something back from the graveyard that we really like.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, was it Scale Lord Reckoner, by the way, that was the one that?
The dragon nonsense? I think so.
Yeah, it was like the Mauler, but is it this one? 3 white white 4/4 flying dragon. When a dragon you control becomes a target for spell ability. No, it wasn't that one. It was the dragon that whenever someone does something that puts a +1 counter on it. Is it Sun Scourge region?
I'm not as familiar with dragons. I do not have a dragon deck yet.
That's
Whenever an opponent casts a spell, yep.
yeah, Sunscorch Regent, 3 white white dragon, 4/3 flyer. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1 counter on it and gain a life.
That is going to be insane.
That's
So
the one I was looking for.
+1/+1 counter on it, and then gain life. One of the triggers happens on a gain life, and put +1/+1 counters on each creature we control. Things, yeah, that
Yeah.
dragon's going to become big soon.
Did someone say shall I?
Ashen said, "Shall I?" Yeah.
Yeah.
July is a personal favorite of mine. It doesn't see enough play, and it always gets removed.
It's because it's
3 and a
good.
white, rightly so. Yep, 3/4 angel with flying. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control all have hexproof. 4 green green. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's a distinctly yes for me.
When you say old green, are you talking about the dragon or? I'm not sure what
Old
you.
Nabos? Which one
Yeah.
are we talking about here? Old green.
um,
um,
collective
yeah,
effort from Arcadian Merchant, though.
yeah.
I'm not familiar until I see it. Collective effort. Is that the one with Gideon on it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
1 white white sorcery. Escalate. Tapped and untapped creature control. Choose one or more. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Destroy target enchantment. Put a +1 counter on each creature target player controls. Oh, if we're going to do that, then we need to do Basri. Basri Solidarity? 1 and a white sorcery. Put a +1 counter on each creature you control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Doesn't
the
seem bad for two.
dragon, Old Gnawbone.
Old Gnawbone it is.
That's the most expensive dragon in the or the most expensive card in the D&D set.
I mean, it's really, really good.
Yeah. Do you want to read that one?
No, you have it up. Go for it.
5 green green then. 7/7 flying dragon. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Who thought that was a clever idea?
Yeah. Blossoming Bog Beast is the one I was already looking at. It's a Ashen suggestion. I like that card a lot. So 4 and a green for a 3/3 beast. Whenever it attacks, gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn.
Jeez,
I
that
mean,
I thought this was bad in my Wolfguard deck, which Dan did convince. Well, he didn't convince me to build that deck, but there was definitely some need to after seeing the podcast. But
yeah, that deck is insane sounding.
yeah,
Might need to make one of my own as well. And the other part of Ashen's suggestion was Accomplished Alchemist. 3 and a green for a 2/5 Elf Druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Yeah, we might have gained a lot of life and a lot of mana. I could see that working out.
what was that? Accomplished Alchemist.
Yes. It seems kind of insane in this deck now that I think about it.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up. I did see a hydrate thing, but Han didn't bring a drink to this stream.
I already drank. What are you talking about?
Have you got a drink?
I have a bottle of water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not what you told
Jank
me.
Master Stream, how it reads for reals when you play this card, you win the game. That's a reference to Old Navod.
I think so.
uh, yeah. Blessing of Frost Might from Mercadian Merchant. Might be okay card draw. So Blessing of Frost, it's out of call time. 3 and a green for a snow sorcery. Distribute X +1/+1 encounters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast this spell. Then draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater.
Okay.
So that means we have to go to Snowlands.
Yeah. But these are so pretty.
Maybe board it. we're going with the pretty lands, right?
It's
It's the only reason Lotus is saying
yeah, it's not anything to do with the suggestion, because the suggestion is brilliant. I am merely they're just look at them. These are fantastic.
okay.
Don't hate me for this.
So I'm gonna make a suggestion. Lathiel, the Bounteous Dawn, seems like it could be very good here.
Okay.
Go ahead and read off this whenever you got it pulled up, because I think you might like it.
2 green white for a unicorn 2/2 lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. That's disgusting. And I'm gonna put it in.
As you rightly should. It seems pretty great.
I still want to know what that enchantment aura is. Ashen, you're like the human gatherer. Enchantment. The last few sets, I think it's core set 21. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1 counters on enchanted creature. Go. Give it a few minutes and Ashen will give us the answer. But we're at 86 cards already.
Yeah, it kind of built itself in a hurry.
I was going to say, this commander is actually... It's a commander that doesn't look that... You know, it's an uncommon 2-mana 2/2, but then it just goes exponentially out of control.
It's some life game shenanigans, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so one of the thoughts I had was a Cradle of Vitality out of Jumpstart. Not seeing enough play, and it's very potentially good in this deck, I think. Cradle of Vitality, 3 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 and a white. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature for each 1 life you gain.
I haven't seen this card.
Yeah, it's out of Jumpstart. Does it work the way I think it does, though?
What do you
Because so what I'm asking is it cumulative life that you've gained this turn, or is it just the amount of life you gained on the instance? Is my
Whenever you
query
gain
here.
life, you may pay 1 and do. If you do, put a +1 counter on target creature for each 1 life you gained. So the instance that you gain life, be it 1, 3, 7, 20, in that one instance, you pay 1 and a white and get that many counters for that instance of life gain.
Okay, so it's not for like the whole turn, right?
No.
Because that would make this card bonkers. It would be so good.
Just a little
I was
bit.
wondering if it was. I was wondering if it was like a similar effect to Lathiel, because that would be amazing.
No.
So maybe that goes in the maybe board. Maybe it's not as good as I thought, because I was just thinking,
Okay.
what is this nonsense?
Cradle of Vitality. There we go. But I've never seen it before. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, we could still get a lot of +1/+1 encounters off of a life linking big giant creature. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, that's a thing. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm. Oh, I think it's in this set. I'm just googling Light of Promise. There we go.
okay.
So Light of Promise. It's the one I've been trying to think of since the beginning. It's 2 and a white for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. The enchanted creature has Whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature.
Spicy. This deck is spicy.
Do we want a how much life are we going to be gaining?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing with this commander is it depends on you gaining life. So you want a lot of instances of able to generate life. And I
Okay.
think that's the big thing first to think about because are we gaining enough life is my question.
Fair, because I was going to suggest a Griffin Airy. It's an enchantment for 1 and a white. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin. So there was
Okay.
that idea, or there was a Resplendent Angel.
Oh, Resplendent Angel will be good.
Because I think it does a similar thing in regards to it's the same mana cost, 1 white white flying 3/3, but it's a creature. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 angel creature token with flying and vigilance, but it also has pay 3 and triple white. Until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. So it becomes the 5 we need with lifelink.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, it'll be a 5/5 blocker and it'll get you another angel potentially. I like it. I think
Yeah.
that my instant thought goes to things like Authority of the Consuls if we're doing stuff on other people's turns as far as gaining life.
Authority of the Consoles.
Yeah, 1 white for an enchantment. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, but the key part here is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. So they're going to be playing their creatures anyways. We're going to get some life off of that each time.
True. True,
And it
true,
keeps
true.
them a little bit at bay as far as they come in tapped. So if we're ahead on board, we can
Sorry.
swing through a little bit easier.
Mercadian Merchant's latest.
I don't like that at all. You're a bad person. Mercadian Merchant, no. Why are you doing this already?
I love it.
Too soon. Too soon. All I know, listen, I don't play Arena. I haven't played Standard in quite a long time. But every time I've been looking on Discord or anything for any kind of screenshots, I just keep seeing, why is this person at negative 420 health?
Yeah. But I'm gonna jump back a bit and go to Jankmaster's Almaret's Archive.
Sure.
Just because that one is a 5 mana artifact that if we'd gain life, twice as much life is gained instead. If we draw a card, except the first one you draw each of your draw steps, you draw 2 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do love that angel combo. That is the only I run Field of Ruin in the main of my standard deck, because I play paper standard, not arena, because arena is not a real format. But yeah, I have to run Field of Ruins because one of my friends actually runs that deck in paper, and it's not very good to play against.
So I've got a fun one.
Fun for who?
I'm not sure if it's good, but I think it's an underplayed card that I want to bring up. Attended Healer.
Tended Healer.
So yeah, Zendikar Rising, core cleric, 2/3 for 3 and a white. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, you create a 1/1 white cat creature token. So it could potentially get us to just go wide incidentally without being a huge target in and of itself. It also has a fun activated ability, 2 and a white, to give another target cleric lifelink until end of turn.
How many
Our
clerics do we have?
commander,
Oh, our
our
commander's a
commander
cleric.
is a cleric.
I'm just checking to see what. Oh, the Conclave Mentor's a cleric. Shaman, Druid, Elemental,
I think
Dinosaur.
it could be. I think it could be spicy in the right situation.
I mean, our commander is one, and that's generally going to be on the board the most. Soul Warden, Soul Attendant.
And potentially the biggest too. So giving it lifelink, yeah,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I just yeah, it's we're doing some cleric stuff now.
What was that enchantment that says whenever you gain life, pay 2, draw a card? Wasn't Legion's Landing?
Dawn of Hope.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Just a little extra card draw in case we need it. It's going to get triggered a lot. Plus, if we've got
Yep.
the mana
And it,
we've got a mana sink.
yeah, it'll make lifelinkers for sure.
And if we want to make 1/1s, I think Castle Ardenvale is a good one. It's the land that you can
Ooh.
pay for and make a 1/1.
Yeah. I just thought of another. So I'm personally a huge fan of these class cards,
Yeah.
and I think Druid class is just ridiculous. 1 and a green for Druid class. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. We love that.
Yeah.
Level 2, 2 and a green. Whenever you may play an additional land on each of your turns. So yeah, we're just gonna be
Yeah.
we're just gonna be gaining a lot of life from that point. And level 3, when it becomes level 3 for 5 mana, 4 and a green. Target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. I think just the level 1 and 2 abilities are just fantastic in and of itself. So yeah, I think that's good.
What was the
Mercadian Merchant. Mercadian Merchant says Angel of Destiny can just end someone.
I'm just
I
looking at
like it.
I was just looking at the Ranger class actually. 1 and a green for the class. When it enters the battlefield, make a 2/2 wolf. You level it up for a 1 and a green. Whenever you attack, put a +1 counter on target attacking creature.
I just felt like it didn't do as much as the other two.
Yeah, no, that's fair. What was the
But
other one?
yeah,
Angel,
Destiny.
the thick angel.
So 3 white for a 2/6 flying double striking angel cleric. By the way,
Yeah,
whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life at the beginning of your end step. If you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attacked this turn loses the game.
doesn't even have to do damage.
Nope.
Just as long as it attacks.
Yep.
Oh, can you imagine you gave this Myriad?
Goodness. Yeah. Uh, Mercadian Merchant also says blind obedience might be cool.
That's Jank Master, that's why I say Arena isn't a real format, because they have Arena only cards. Even in Standard, there are only Arena cards that you can't get in paper. So, but anyway,
Now,
Blind Obedience, do you want to read that one?
sure. Blind Obedience, 1 and a white for an enchantment. It has Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay Hybrid Orzhov. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. So, yeah, Extort, gain 3 life. With 3 players at the table as opponents. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped.
And anyone that is confused, because it does have black in its mana symbol, this is an exception to the color identity rule, because extort is the keyword. This text, with the mana symbol in it, is reminder text. It's not part of the physical rule wording on the card, so it doesn't have that color identity.
Yep. I think that I think that works. I'm also wondering about Ashes of the Abhorrent, if we really want to go into the enchantment gain us life thing. I think that would be pretty good too.
Oh, this one's just for
So,
Zach, isn't it?
I mean, yes,
Yeah, 1 and a white.
but
Players can't play spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. When a creature dies, you gain a life.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a good one.
So we're currently at 96.
Oh yeah, it's
I
getting tough already.
I think we need some removal.
Sure. We have
So
green and white. Let's talk about the go-tos.
I want to go to settle the wreckage first.
Oh, okay, sure.
Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search their library for that many basic land cards, put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle the library. Now,
Yep.
creatures are still attacking before combat ends, but after damage is done.
hmm
So we can attack with loads of tokens, do the damage, cast this on ourselves, and
Yep.
then ramp ourselves. And watch our opponent get confused.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, I have a question.
Okay.
How mean are we going with this deck?
We're running Vorinclex and
Okay,
Heliod combo.
I think that's probably I think that's probably the top end. Okay,
and
we'll be
Orashots.
nice. Let's be nice then. So let's talk about a fun one first. Prosperous Innkeeper. I just got one of these. It's staring me in the face, and it seems good in this deck. Uh, Prosperous Innkeeper, 1 and a green for a 1/1 halfling citizen. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So it's only for us. However, seems pretty good.
Yeah.
So the other meaner card that I was thinking about was, do we put in a Nykthos Paragon? I got a sketch version of one of these in Modern Horizons 2, and I've been looking for a home for it.
So 4 white, whenever you gain life, you put that many +1 counters on each creature you control. Do this only once each turn.
It's a May, so you can choose when to do it.
Yeah. I think that's not too bad, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Though Mercadian Merchant is suggesting Inspiring Call.
Yeah.
2 and a green, instant. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Who needs heroic intervention when we can do that?
Sure.
And then Ashen, it says, how about Approach of the Second Sun as an alt win con and life gain for various triggers? That's
Oh. I mean, sure.
6 and a white, because it will gain us 7 life. If we can't
I now
get
have
through,
a thought.
what have you got a thought on?
Oh, no, continue.
Oh, okay. So, yes, Approach of the Second Sun is 6 and a white for a sorcery. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand, and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put it in your library 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life.
So, I don't mind that. However, that reminded me of Test of Endurance, and I think that one's just strictly funnier.
Oh?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this, Lotus.
At the
This card
beginning
is
of your
great.
upkeep, if you have 50 or more life, you win the game. Yeah. What was the other one? The one from Kaladesh.
Which one are you talking about? Like alternate win con?
Yeah, you know, the one that says if you have 40 life or 30 or something, you win the game. I can't remember what it was. It was the creature. Felidar Sovereign?
Yep. I believe that's the right one. Yes.
4 white for a cat beast, 4/6 vigilance lifelink at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 40 or more life, you win the game.
I think those two are better than Approach of the Second Sun. People get salty about Approach of the Second Sun. I think these two are probably just better to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Angel of Destiny. We've got a couple of alternate win cons in this deck. I kind of like it a lot, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what's the Tristani Discordant? I think that's an important one in this deck. Because I get the feeling with all these plus and plus encounters, what happens typically? Somebody likes to steal things that are really big, right?
True. True.
I think that this is important.
Well, if you're going to go through a Tristani Discord, as for that reason, I'm also going to put in a Homeward Path.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Because it's a land that taps and you gain control of all creatures that each player owns. Because
Oh man,
if you're
what are
going
we
to
up to?
listen to the latest podcast, you'll understand why I'm running this land.
Fair enough. We're at 105.
We're at
Let's
we're at
dial it back.
104. So we're at 104. If there's we're gonna
Yeah,
now try and swap out cards for new suggestions. So if there's a suggestion that you have, tell us what you think it might substitute for, or we'll try.
my
So
question is, do we need a Johnny Strength of the Pride?
to make a Johnny's Primates
Right.
and gain
Or
life.
do we not need Elspeth? What are we, because +1 ability to put 3/1/1 white soldiers is good. I'm just trying to think of, like, are we trying to go wide? What's the game plan here?
A Johnny is just good because you make a creature that gains you life. It gains counters for every time you gain life. It also has a 0 ability that wipes our opponent's board.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe not Elspeth Sun's Champion then?
Elspeth makes
Because it's 6
three
mana,
one. It
3?
but it makes 3/1/1s as a plus.
Yeah.
And
I'm just trying to think of, like,
Ying,
what doesn't do enough.
I think you're looking at the wrong things.
Okay, fair enough. We got a lot of enchantments. We have 17 enchantments. I quite like
Guard
most of them, though.
Stronghold. Not sure what that one is. Oh, this one. So it's a land. Enters the battlefield tapped, adds green. Green, white, white, tap. Sacrifice a stronghold, put a +1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Then gain vigilance and lifelink to end of turn. Activate this ability, only you could cast a sorcery. So, yep, that does do our ballista combo.
I just also realized in this deck, Esper Sentinel can get so big, and they have to pay so much to not make it. Oof. A lot of plus encounters going on Esper Sentinel just incidentally, I think.
Yeah. Do we... I know this is going to hurt. Do we need doubling season?
I'm wondering, do we need Fertilid? Doubling season, double tokens, and double counters.
We are token heavy, so presumably.
Especially with, like, our Felidar retreats and things like that. Yeah. I mean, we just talked about Johnny's Pride Mates getting made. So, I mean, do we want 2 of Johnny's Pride Mates if you think about it that way?
True, we do. So, is Aura Shards too mean?
I think Aura Shards does need to go. I would agree with that. Just because we also have 37 creatures. We're gonna be doing this all the time.
Yeah. We're at 36 lands. I'm going to cut a plains, go down to 35 lands. So 2 more cuts.
Wondering about Fertilid right now. Does it do enough? Is the question in mind.
I mean, it gets us more mana. We haven't got any ramp spells, so this will be our ramp.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I was thinking of ways to get ramp is why.
Okay. Does Huatli's Raptor do enough?
No, I was going to suggest that as next. However, so my thought was along the lines of things like what's the card?
What's it do?
Geez, Karametra.
Carametra?
Yeah,
God of the Harvest.
yeah. We're playing a lot of creatures, essentially ramping hard.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. So you want
And that might
to
potentially trigger all of our landfall stuff. So
that instead of Fertilid?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah?
Because Karametra is at least a 6/7 indestructible, no less, on top of everything else. So I think that it'll just stick around a little bit better. Um, make them use an exile spell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um. Okay. I'm also trying to work out what else we can cut. Okay, so we've only got 60. No, that doesn't matter. So we've got 16 enchantments. Is Sithis enough? I don't feel we've got enough enchantments for Sithis to actually be beneficial to what we want.
Yeah, I'm looking at the creatures. So we got Arasta as an enchantment creature. We have Courser of Krufix as another one. So that's two
Carmetra.
more. Heliod's one.
Oh, okay, we've got more than I thought then.
Nykthos Paragon is one. So that's four.
And then
I
Carmetra.
think it's I think it's like that borderline. It's arguable. Um,
I'm gonna say let's put it to maybe just because
yeah.
I
Did
think
we
it's
just cut this? I can't remember.
Sithis. I've just
Yeah, did we just cut this?
yeah, we'll go down cut
Okay, because that was
Sithis.
an enchantment. Yep. So yeah, there's about four creatures on top of the straight up enchantments. So
If the deck creates a lot of tokens, Perilous Fortes might be okay ramp, says Marcadian.
Perilous Forays. So Perilous Forays, 3 green for an enchantment, 1 mana and sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a land card with a basic land type. Put it into play tapped. Shuffle a library. Okay. Um,
That's not
might be. So my big thing right now, right? So the way that we're getting a lot of mana potentially is things like um Jiang Yanggu, Wildcrafter, right? That kind of effect with, each creature with a +1/+1 counter has add 1 mana.
yeah,
So I think that that's kind of where we're at, in my opinion, as far as the ramp package outside of the typical stuff we're doing.
okay.
We also have Druid class, right? So if we get to level 2, we can start playing 2 lands each turn. And our commander is also going to let us scry. These are just thoughts I'm having.
Okay.
I don't think approach does enough. It's 6 mana or 7 mana twice, right?
That's fair. We can use the enchantment and the Felidar Sovereign to actually go for a win.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, on top of Angel of Destiny too. I think we got a couple of alternate win cons.
I'm wondering.
Basri Solidarity.
I'm actually
+1/+1 counter
thinking.
on each creature. One-time effect.
What about Marwyn the Nurturer? So it's 2 and a green
Hmm.
for the 1/1. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on it, and then you add green equal to its power. Forgetting about the bit where an elf enters the battlefield, if we just put the counters on it from every other effect we've got, this could be a pretty good mana dork.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. We're still at 100
Oh,
exactly.
hey, Lotus, I think we need more horses in our life with this
Hey,
kind of deck, right?
oh, are you talking about that special horse?
The crested horse?
The
The
Sunmeth?
crested horse. Yeah. I think it could be great. 3 white for a 5/5 horse. Other horses you control have indestructible. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, just gained life, create a 5/5 white horse creature token.
Marwyn is a
That'll
remove
help
on
us go
spot
wide.
card. Yeah, Jankmaster, yeah, Marwyn is a problem card. I want to highlight Croson Verge. Have we put Croson Verge in?
No, I don't think we've discussed it yet. Croson Verge. So we've got, yeah, enters the battlefield tapped. Taps for a colorless, 2 mana, and tap. Sacrifice it. Search your library for a forest and plains. Put them onto the battlefield tap. Shuffle the library. Yep.
Yeah.
2 mana for sacrificing and 2 land drops that also gonna trigger landfalls. Yep. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
And we'd be remiss, I think, if we're not talking about generous gift and beast within, right?
Yeah.
Some additional removal. I think we're in green.
So what do
Now I'm just thinking with.
we've got 2
Oh
we
yeah,
need to cut now.
I'm getting to that. It's gonna be some tough times now. Because I'm also thinking about like a destiny spinner because of our sheer amount of creatures and enchantments. But let's see.
Myriad Landscape and Blighted Woodland.
Lighted woodlands. Yep.
Myriad Landscape. Yep, and Blighted Woodland.
Does the ooze do enough?
I don't think the ooze does enough, because I think
Corn Reef
Collodion
ooze.
Hydra does better.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. I think Colonian Hydra is probably a
And
better version.
I'm gonna hate myself for saying it, but I think Toski doesn't do a good a job as Oran Frostfang.
You think?
I mean, it's very good, it's indestructible, but the other one has Death Touch.
I don't mind having both, honestly. I
Oh,
think
okay.
there's some card draw to be had from it, and I think that that's solid. Um,
Does
my
Evolution
bigger
Sage do enough?
my bigger question is actually the path of discovery because of the explorer. Do we want to throw stuff into the graveyard by instead putting it back and then scrying it away? Or +1/+1 encounters. I think we have enough ways to get +1/+1 encounters, but
Okay. Okay, well maybe it for now. We still need 2
yeah.
cuts.
Um, hmm. Do we need the original Ajani's Pride Mate?
I think if we're gonna make them, I think he's just yeah, I think he can come out. We've got 35 creatures after him.
Jank Master Stream says drop Well of Lost Dreams. 4 mana artifact whenever you gain life. When you may pay X, where X
Yeah.
is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained. And draw cards that way. I think we have other ways to gain life or draw cards now. So I
Yeah.
don't think that's a bad suggestion.
And drop it for Garruk Primal Hunter. Which one's that one?
The one that
2 triple
draws us
green.
cards for, yeah,
Draw
greatest.
cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Yeah, alright. And make a 3/3.
Going some planeswalkers here. Yep.
Yeah.
Righteous Valkyrie is another thought, but I'm just trying to figure out. Ooh. So I'm now thinking like protection. Do we need to start protecting stuff, right?
We've got Inspiring Call, which is protection. We've got Shalai, which is protection.
Right. Okay, that's fair. What
Ozolith
are your
protects
thoughts?
our counters.
What are your thoughts on we might not need it actually, but Rock's Faithmender, let's just highlight it real quick. I would say he's probably maybe bored, but it's another jumpstart fun one. 3 and a white for a 1/5 Rhino Monk with lifelink. So it's got a big butt, has lifelink, gonna gain his life, especially with all these +1/+1 encounters. And if you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead.
I like it, but our merit on my archive is doing that plus more.
That's fair. So
Oh, Flawless Maneuver. Yes, Marcadian. That one is. Flawless
Yeah, flawless
Maneuver
maneuver.
is just gains indestructible, and it's a free spell. What was it? Drop Marwyn for a Shire Soul of the Wild.
That's a hot take.
Non-token creatures control a forest. Yeah. So,
Jake Master's Tree. Continue, Lotus. I'm sorry.
yep, no. Sorry, what was going on? Scale up needs to
A
be in the day.
Shia. You're talking about a Shia. And then, yeah, Jake Master Stream. Scale up needs to be in the deck. I recently got a foil old border art of this out of Modern Horizons 2, and it looks so good. Scale up is a card.
Oh, we got 3 cuts to make now.
I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes, Lotus. What do you
I'm...
want us to say?
Oh,
Scale up. 1 green for a sorcery. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a green worm. Base power and toughness are 6/4, but you can overload it for 4 and 2 green. And then you're just until end of turn, each creature you control becomes a green worm with base power and toughness 6/4.
yep.
Scoot Swarm? Nah, too susceptible to Rakdos Charm, I think.
See, Dan is always susceptible to Rakdos Charm.
Exactly. What is that? What has that taught us?
Always run Rakdos Charm.
Clearly, clearly, that's what we need to learn. Also, we didn't
What's
talk
Weird
about an anointed
Harvest?
procession. Now that I think about it,
What's the... Sorry, Weird Harvest. X green sorcery. Each player may search their library for X creature cards, reveal those cards, put them into their hand. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles it.
yeah,
I mean, it would
yeah,
literally just get on a ballista combo, but
yeah,
I'm gonna maybe board straight away. Sorry.
yeah. Anointed procession, but we do have doubling season in, I suppose. So
No, I
I think
agree
it's
with.
fine.
I think Ashen's right. Light of Promise doesn't do enough. That can come out.
Life gift can get cut. He also says,
Life Gift. That's
yeah.
whenever a land comes into play, gain a life. But that, Life Gifts. Oh, it's good.
But is it better than a Guardian project that we don't have yet?
A Guardian Project. The Druid class does the same as Life Gift.
Yeah, and I think Druid class does it for cheaper and with like
Yeah.
flexibility.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're at 101.
Is there anything that you can think of right now that you really want to add in?
I'm not that I'm aware of. I think the deck is pretty much. I'm already like, this is gross. I'm just trying to work out what's the last card to cut.
Also, just a thought, but Core Celebrant is another gain a life, like gain life activator.
2 and a white. Whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life.
Yep, and it's just creature, so not non-token. And it's a cleric, and it's in Zendikar Rising as a common.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Core Celebrant in, but I'm going to take another one out because Core Celebrant is a cleric, which triggers that other card. So I think whenever another creature enters the battlefield, gain a life. Not that one.
My thought was just strictly just trying to get another life gaining, engine starter, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to get another spark plug in.
Trying to work out. We need 2 cuts now.
Oof. There's some cards I'm thinking about from Jumpstart now. It's so brutal.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Mm.
I
Oof.
really don't know what 2 cards to take out.
I'm gonna throw some more at you actually, so there's still more that you got to think about. Yeah. Lotus, do me a favor. Take a look at 2 cards for me. Just read them out loud because I think you'll like them.
Okay.
Righteous Valkyrie.
That the gain life equal to toughness.
Hmm. You know the one. It's one of your pet angels, right?
Yeah, whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield, though.
Right.
We don't have that many clerics or angels.
Right. But think about that last bit of text right there that you haven't read yet.
As long as you have at least 7 or more life than your starting total, creatures control get +2/+2. I get where you're coming from. I'm going to maybe board it straight away
Maybe.
because
Okay.
Elspeth gives us an emblem that does it.
Okay. And the other one to think about was Path of Bravery. A lot of Jumpstart life link stuff or life related stuff that I was just thinking about.
That just gives them +1/+1. Creatures control, gain life equal to number of attacking creatures. Yeah, I see where it's going. I just feel nothing
Not
in
enough.
the
Okay.
not enough to swap what's in the deck.
Got it.
And we
That's
still
fair.
need to cut 2 more. I mean, we're at 36 lands, so we can probably cut a land and
Yeah,
go
cut
to
one land. And let's talk about I think
drop. Jankmaster says drop 2 land, add a Dryad Arbor and a Green Sun Zenith. Well, I mean, if we drop a forest and add a Dryad Arbor, that's our creature and land drop triggers. And then Green Sun's Zenith. Suppose it's a single green, go get the Dryad Arbor. That makes sense. What is our mana curve anyway?
3.56 or something along those lines, I believe.
Yeah, okay. So we'll stick at 33 lands.
Yeah, cut lands.
Well,
Make it easy. We're getting a bunch of them anyways.
we need to cut one more card on top. Soul's Attendant
Let's
is great. And so is Soul Warden. Yeah, we've got Soul's Attendant and Soul's Warden. But we need one more cut to make it 100 cards. Does Blind Obedience do enough? I think Blind Obedience would come out because I think Authority of the Consoles is just better.
Yeah, gains us life, but it's also extorting every time. I think that's the key to blind obedience. If you just pay 1, you gain 3, and everybody loses a life. It just gives everything you do, uh, you know, an instance of gaining life.
Hmm. Or is
I
it
think
the
that's the difference. Is it authority of the consoles that needs to come out? Is my thought here.
slows our opponents down though?
Right, but so does blind obedience. So blind
Hmm.
obedience is artifacts and creatures. Authority of the consoles is creatures only. But we do get life off of authority of the consoles. So for 1
Yeah.
mana. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's hard because
How?
blind obedience is. So I would say take out the blind obedience because you have to cast a spell for that to trigger, whereas authority just does it passively.
Yeah.
That'd be my
And it's
my
a
logic behind that.
plus. It's not 2 mana. It's 2 mana plus 1 for every time. Where
Yeah,
Authority is a single. Let it do its thing.
yeah. I think I agree with that.
There we go. That's. Did you just say cut the commander?
Ashton was saying cut a Johnny's welcome. A
When it,
Johnny's welcome whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control gain a life. I just like the ability to just have multiple things triggering.
the thing is, it's
Um,
not non-token, so everything that we do, like Elspeth, will trigger it 3 times. Ajani's Primate will trigger it. Arasta, everything will trigger it. It's
oh yeah,
really good.
it'll make it go bonkers, I think,
Plus,
real
I
quick.
think it's good that it's on an enchantment because we have the creature variants, the soul tendons. But if someone board wipes creatures, we still have an enchantment that does the same thing.
Right, which is the same logic for, Heliod Suncrowned and
Mm.
Karametra being kind of like persistent
Yeah.
issues. Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Um,
So, are we happy with where we're at now?
I think at this moment, this is a playable, really good deck.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of life gaining shenanigans. Yeah, it'll do some stuff.
Now, I do agree with Mercadian Merchant there. Animation module would be great, but I would also have to put in the animation module and the other two, which make the combo. Animation, I can't remember the other two, but there's a 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana one. Or is it 1, 2, 3? And if you gain a life, put a counter. If you get a counter, you make a 1/1. If you get a 1/1, you gain a life, and it just keeps cycling. But I don't know what to cut for those. So
I have a question. So I'm looking at collective effort, right?
yeah.
I love the card. However, my
Okay.
thought went to I was trying to look for it for a while now. Isn't What do you think of Pledge of Unity just to replace it? Because Pledge of Unity does a lot for the deck, I feel like. And I think that collective effort, yes, you get to have the modals, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm just trying
Okay.
to think about it. Because I feel like collective effort, you're always going to go for that third one. I mean,
But
very situationally, maybe not.
you can escalate it, so you can choose all three.
Right. That's what I'm
Uh,
saying. So, I mean, yes, the modal and choosing all three. However,
the only difference, really, I think.
it triggers life gain on top at instant speed, which is the thought. So,
True,
eh,
but
I
I would
just it was
like.
just a thought. I don't necessarily think it's the right call. I was just wondering your thoughts on it.
I prefer a modal spell over anything else because you know well I don't like having spells in the deck that are conditional to the board state.
Sure, that's fair.
So having a spell that if we have no creatures on board, this is useless.
Sure.
Whereas the other one will still destroy a creature or an enchantment.
Yeah.
We have 23 in our maybe board. That's probably the most we've ever had.
Creatures? You talking about creatures or enchantments? Because we're pretty close on both.
No, I'm talking about the maybe board. There's 23 in there.
Oh yeah.
Decoction module and fabrication module, yeah. Yeah, Crusade does it.
Ooh,
Oh,
you know what I thought of that'd be pretty sweet.
and so does the commander with a soul sister. Oh, so hang on a second. Am I animation module? So single mana, whenever one or more +1 counters are placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, make a colorless servo. Makes a servo, Cartha's Crusade, or whatever gains a life. You make a put one. I have to put this in. Choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another kind of that counter. Oh, can you imagine? So I've put animation module in, but can you imagine, for example, the Slippery Bog Bonder? You put the hexproof counter on it, you then move it to a creature, you sack that creature, put it on the Ozolith, and then move it to another creature of your choice. Oh,
It'd be spicy. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Bogmonder has to be put on a creature, right?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, that still checks out. I didn't
Uh,
know. I was trying to figure out if it could be put on a permanent all of a sudden.
right, I'm gonna I need to cut something for that animation module just because it's so good. Oh god, why did I do this to myself?
I thought you were happy.
I was, but that was a good suggestion. Um, uh, God damn.
Ooh, I also have one that I really want to put in, actually.
If you find its replacement, you can have it.
I'm already looking. So
Um,
for chat, just so you guys are aware of what I'm thinking of, I was thinking of Abiding Grace.
what's that?
So Abiding Grace is Modern Horizons 2 card. 2 and a white for an enchantment. Beginning of your end step, choose one. Gain a life. We love that. Or return a target creature card with mana value 1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. So the thought was any of our Soul Sisters or Warden, things of that nature are all 1-drops. Esper Sentinel can come back with that as well. And I mean, if we really wanted to, we could throw in a Mother of Runes that we can just constantly get back at the end step.
That's just dirty.
I mean, I'm trying to think of 2 cards now because I want to put Mother of Runes in. That's just me, though.
I don't think it needs it.
What? The Abiding Grace? I think it definitely needs it.
Uh,
I don't know about the Mother of Runes, but the Abiding Grace seems great. I was just trying to put in one Jank Master Stream, and Giver of Runes could also go in if you really wanted
I'm
to
gonna
go
put
that route.
Abiding Grace in the maybe board just for ease.
Oof.
Just for ease.
Lotus is wussing out on the Abiding Grace. I see how it is.
You've only got 4 1-drops in the deck.
But they're all perfect for what we want to do.
But there's 4. It's 1 card for 4.
Or we just gain a life at the end step.
We've got so
And we
many...
get to put another +1/+1 counter on our commander, and we get to scry again.
We've got so many better cards.
Jank Master Stream, Immovable Rod. In my deck, I would recommend putting Abiding Grace in. Lotus has the controls over this maybe board, so we'll agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
I would for me personally, I would take out Dawn of Hope for an Abiding Grace, and I would call it a day there. But that's just me.
So you'd remove the card draw.
We've got other ways to card draw.
I
That's fine with
disagree.
me.
I disagree.
Nope.
But that's your deck. You do you. I'll do me.
Hey, listen, I will constantly bring back Esper Sentinel all day and draw tons of cards that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So what we've got? We've got 100 cards. We've got 33 lands, because I didn't have to cut a card for the animation module, because Dryad Arbor went in the creature section, and I moved it to the land section and cut a forest.
Also,
Three...
I'm gonna paint you a picture, Lotus. Say a board wipe happens, we're gonna get back Esper Sentinel, we're gonna draw our cards, then we're gonna get back an Essence Warden, we're gonna scry through and draw cards still, and then we're gonna go ahead and get things like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna get our Mother of Runes to protect it. It's at the end step of every turn. You can just keep bringing our 1-drops back. Get rid of them. I'll bring them back until you deal with Abiding Grace. I think it's a strong card.
Maybe board. We can agree to disagree.
I would take the Arasta of Endless Web out too, and I would put in the Mother of Runes at that point.
But that gives us more creatures to trigger our Carthus Crusade and Ajani's
I'm
Wealth.
just telling you what I would do.
See, even chats with me. You're just weird, Han.
That's okay. I'm good with it. That's just how I would build it.
Oh, I feel that it's at a place that it's now can be.
Yeah, no, I think that this is the argument of like play styles, right? For me, I am of the play style of I'm gonna put this down. You deal with it. That's just how I play, though. So that's just me. You deal with it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get value off of it. Cool.
Yeah. What if you draw it at the start of the game with no 1-drops?
then I'm gonna gain a life every single end step. I'm still okay with that.
I think there's better things to do. I'd rather turn 1 drop Authority of the Consoles. Well, it's a 3 drop, so it's 3
That's what I'm
mana to
saying.
gain 1
Fine.
life.
Yeah, we can still play our, uh, Essence Warden turn 1, or Authority of the Consoles turn 1. Turn 2, Trelasarra. Turn 3, we're gonna start gaining life at the end step, and Trelasarra will become a 3/3, and we'll scry 1 right at the end of our turn.
I see where you're coming from,
Difference of opinion.
but
I'm just
no.
saying.
I think the deck as it stands now, I think it's looking amazing.
Yeah, it has some good legs to stand on.
Yeah, and there's quite a few cards in here that I already own, so I can probably put this together. Like, I probably have that. These
I
are
think I think that if you played this deck, I think Trelasarra would just incidentally become a Voltron commander potentially.
Voltron commander that has
But
support.
I mean, the whole deck is support. So yeah, I think that Trelasarra will just inevitably at some point, you just have to have a way to get it through. So actually maybe a like Rogue's Passage, or ooh, oh, hold on. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking Yavimaya. Is there any way to give it Forest Walk?
Um, Toski has Forest Walk.
Does Toski? I thought it was a Chatterfang.
Is it Chatterfang?
I think Chatterfang's the one with the
Oh yeah.
Forest Walk. Yeah. Um,
Well, it doesn't matter.
but
Our
no.
creatures are going to be big enough as it is.
Oh,
So Lotus,
okay.
is this what I
Hold
get to
on.
play against on Tuesday? If I can build this in time, there's a few cards that I don't have, like Almerit's Archive, so I might have to put in a few replacements, but I could probably
I,
build this in time.
I figured it out. You put in a Weatherseed Elf.
What the hell's a Weather Seed Elf?
Weatherseed Elf. It's a 1-drop, no less. Haha.
Target creature gains Forest Walk till end of turn. Ah,
Give your commander Forest Walk with Yavimaya. Cradle of Growth.
why don't you
And
just put...
swing in for...
Why? No. Right, what you do is you put Trailblazer boots on. Trailblazer boots
Oh, but I
just...
want to bring this back with Abiding Grace.
But to buy... I'm done with you, huh?
Again, just how I would have built it.
I am going to put Cradle of Yavimaya of Growth in instead of a Forest, because that is just too good. No, I think we're good, Han. I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I would be putting in a Weatherseed Elf.
Green-white Savala might be nice ramp replacement. It is a good card,
Heart of the Wild?
and I think that down to individual playstyle, I think we're gonna get too difficult trying to cut for things like that now. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
definitely a good
oh,
card.
Explorer Return. You're talking about the Parlay one. Yeah, Parlay
Yeah,
would be good. It also gains us life. However, yeah, that'd be a maybe board as well, because everybody draws cards that way.
yeah. But no,
There's some of us that just don't like to give an inch to other players.
yeah. But I think this is pretty good. Personally, I
Yeah.
might add a bit more protection, removal, cut a few creatures. Personally, my own playstyle, I'll make it a little bit slightly different. But generally, this is a damn good deck. I like it.
Yeah. I think I'm solid on this.
Yeah. Yeah, Temple Garden. All the dual lands, like you got the shock land. If you've got a proxy or you're lucky enough for an original dual, put that in. Fetch lands if you've got them, or proxy. Temple Garden, the flip flap lands, the pathways.
Yep.
The commander lands come in untapped if you have multiple opponents. You can shove all those in. Make it a lot easier to cast your 2-color commanders and cards.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind this deck has
Commander
some
Tower, yeah.
yeah, Command Tower. This deck has a lot of legs on it. Don't get me wrong, because you got some cards in here that are whoop. Like if you get an old Gnawbone to go off, or just the Resplendent Angel, any of these are huge threats if you really think about it. So
I think any of these, even the 1-drop 1/1s, will become huge threats.
yep. So I think that yeah, I if you decide to make this deck, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised, Lotus, at how this plays out. I think it's very solid.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. I've got a command night on Tuesday. I have an upgraded Wolfguard deck that someone in the Discord, Jack from London, doesn't like, but I've upgraded it since they last saw it because I attacked with 2 creatures for 59 damage, and they weren't happy. So it's been upgraded to be Mina. And what was it we worked out earlier? Was it like 480 damage with 3 creatures or something?
I remember you going like 47 plus 38 is what? And then I started trailing off, to be honest.
That's fair. But Wolfgar is a stupid deck, and I love it. 440. There we go. Ashen was in the chat. 440 damage with 3 creatures.
Yep, seems pretty great.
There's a bunch of cool utility lands for this deck. I'm sure there's loads of good lands for this deck. What's the one that has a +1 counter when it comes in and you can graft it onto something? There's that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads. Llanowar
Yeah,
Reborn. There we go.
you just have, like Seraph Sanctuary just to get additional life off of angels coming in. Cavany Township. Yeah, there's tons.
Yeah,
Ooh, Witch's Clinic. Witch's Clinic is probably a big one, actually, now that I think about it.
which is clean. I
Our
think I
commander
saw
gets
that in
lifelink.
chat earlier, actually. I can't
Yeah, there's a
remember,
ton.
but yeah.
Yeah, either way, there's a ton.
Khan's
It's
Bastion for proliferating, Sapseed Forest, Marcadian Mask's got it all. Merchant's got it all.
yep.
But yeah, I think at the moment, without going too heavily into lands, the deck's done, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I'm happy too. And best part, Ashen, no Soul Ring.
There's no mana rocks except Great
Nope.
Henge.
Yep. Not even an Arcane Signet, and it's been a long time since we've done that. Actually, now that I think about it.
We haven't even forced it in.
Nope. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with where it's at. I think yeah, I think if you do decide to play it on Tuesday, I'm very happy to tune in and watch, because just let me know, because I will gladly. I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I need to see if I can get it done in time, as it's only what 2 days or 3 days away.
You got time.
But anyone that wants the deck list, I'm going to put it on the Into the 99 website within the next 15 minutes. Just give me time to edit and put it in. So you can copy it, see what you think, collect it, oof, yeah. And if anyone builds it or makes their own version, just let us know in the comments and give us a message saying how you built it instead or what you would do instead, because it'd be great to see other people's takes on it.
Yep. And I think we got to do this D20 roll for your commander again, because it's been a lot of fun.
This has been, yeah, because none of us was prepared. Like, normally,
Nope.
Han's sitting there going, I don't prepare, has a list of 200 cards. Then I said, no more than 50, has 65 cards prepared. And then today it was like, roll a random dice. Han has
Yep.
nothing.
And yet we still have 24 on the maybe board. Yep.
Yeah, plus ones that didn't even make it because there were so many suggestions.
All right. Yeah, let's do this again. I won't be here next week, but I'm sure Lotus has got plans.
I will make a post in the Into the 99 Discord and the Instagram for my Instagram, Lotus Bloom Gaming, and the Into the 99 Instagram with what's happening for next week. I believe Dan said that he wanted to come on the show. We'll see if that's next week or the week after, because you're away for up to 2 weeks.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
let's call it a day there. I think that's a wrap on Trelasarra. We've got
that's a grab, and it was a
gaining life,
very good
plus
one.
one, plus ones, clerics, elves. What more could you want in a D&D set?
Yeah, exactly. But if you like what you saw, go to intothe99.com, which is our one-stop shop for our articles. More deck lists of this, of Brewing It Live. You can see our YouTube link there, where you have previous episodes, because I think this is now episode 26.
Oh yeah,
So
it's been
there's
over half a year.
half a year of Brewing It Live. But also there's the link to our Discord channel, so you can come in, chat to us, and we can brew in chat together, which we do pretty much every day. Also, the Patreon and merch store links are there as well. But otherwise, we'll be seeing you soon, and take care of everybody. Bye.
Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
You filthy home.
Always.